back,
everybody. Welcome to another episode of Flick Chat with Frick and Frack. Comic book movie fatigue.
Yeah, so apparently people are talking about that, man.
It's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. That's a thing. Yes,
I've heard about it, and I've heard people talk about it. I've heard people kind of worry about it.
Yeah,
but,
people are
stressing. I didn't really know that it
stressing.
was a thing until, or I knew it was a thing, but it really stood out to me this week when I went to my school to go visit some friends and my old professor, and we just started talking comic book movies.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, I just feel like they're all the same. Are you not tired of it? Like, don't you feel like you're being gypped?
I would have loved to be in that room, just like
yeah. My soul.
Word, man. Oh my God.
And so I get it for the and you know he's a film professor, but for the average moviegoer, I could understand the scare, if you will. I could understand. I could understand the
worry.
The worry.
Yeah.
But you know. For people like you and I, we know what's coming out. We know what's been planned for the next few years. And so for the person who's just watching TV and like, oh, another superhero movie. Geez, another Spider-Man movie. And not understanding why, I could understand why comic book movie fatigue is a real thing. So it made me think this would probably be a good topic for us to talk about because why not kind of address that and discuss why there are so many superhero movies and why there are so many types.
Yeah.
So in this episode, what we're going to really focus on is Marvel because Marvel allows us to create a good enough example and really discuss that. Whereas DC,
they're just kind of getting started. You know what I mean? It's not a fair comparison.
It's not, and also the big thing, the main point is that DC owns the rights to all their characters, every last one of them. Marvel doesn't. Hence, why different studios are putting out so many things, and why the confusion, and why isn't Wolverine with Captain America?
And why is Spider-Man, changing every 2 years?
Exactly. And I think this is a good topic for us to discuss in the idea of why there is comic book movie fatigue. I think it's because not many people care to know what's really going on behind the scenes. Yeah. Whereas you and I and a lot of other people out there, they're really invested into this. So they're really understanding the difference and they're understanding what's going on. So this is a good.
Before we get into into the reasons why we don't think it is something that you should worry about. One thing you guys got to understand is that we were talking about this earlier. Even the bad ones are making a lot of money. Yeah. A lot of money. Yeah. And, if you have a movie that's making money, look at how many Fast and Furious movies there are. They're going to milk that until, like...
Listen, guys. And that's
a bad example because some of those movies are kind of whack. But yeah.
Do not expect the studios to be like, oh, well, I guess we've made enough money.
Exactly. That's never going to happen. Never going to happen.
So
especially not Disney. Never going to happen. Yeah.
Disney owns the rights to Marvel.
Exactly.
So when Marvel was going under and they started doing well after they, Iron Man, Disney came in. They got the majority of their things, their characters back, and now they're trying to get other ones back. But Disney also got Star Wars and all this.
Different topic, yeah.
But let's focus on Marvel. So why don't you explain to them a little bit about what was happening with Marvel and why not all the Marvel characters are part of the same cinematic universe?
Okay, yeah, definitely. Okay, so let me see. So let's go back probably to late 90s, early 2000s. Marvel as a company is not doing so hot.
Right.
They're at the point of bankruptcy. They're trying to find really any way where they can get some extra cash coming in. And they decide to sell the movie rights to their most popular characters over to... it was Fox, Sony, and I believe there was a third involved, which Lionsgate. I think it might have been Lionsgate, but anyways, so they go ahead and do that, and they sell over the rights to the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and Spider-Man. I know you guys hear Fantastic Four, and you're like, what the hell? Believe it or not, back then, they were extremely popular. So, the movies is kind of what killed them. They were real popular back then. Yeah. So because of that, they, like I said, lost the rights to make movies with these iconic characters. Right. And once, X-Men 1 came out, then X-Men 2, then we had Spider-Man 1 and 2, they realized that, wow, there is a want for these movies big time. Like, they're making a ton of money. We got to get in on this.
And then enter the phenomenal visionary Kevin Feige, who is now the head of Marvel
Who got hired based off of his knowledge of the Marvel Universe.
Right, and we're talking about a fan. So he comes in and they kick off the cinematic universe. At the time, we didn't know. We were just like, oh, Iron Man. And I myself knew of Iron Man, but I was like, why him? But okay, they kick off with a seemingly unknown, not as popular back then character.
Yeah, it sounds
in
like
Tony
blasphemy
Stark.
now.
And
It sounds like blasphemy now, but back then, dude, yeah.
And they take a chance, right? This womanizing, chauvinistic rich man played by
Who's an alcoholic in the comics, like, yeah.
A womanizing, chauvinistic alcoholic in real life at the time. They took a chance, bringing Robert Downey Jr., a household name that was also like, I remember him and all his scandals and blah, blah, blah. It was a risk. But that movie kicked off, and everybody was just like blown away.
Yeah.
It did really well, to say the least.
To say the least, yeah.
And it kicked off what they I'm sure they had plans, what is now the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And so then following that, we had Hulk. Then after Hulk, we had Thor. Then after Thor, we had Captain America. And then after Captain America, if I'm not mistaken, we had Avengers.
No. After Cap, we got the Iron Man 2 before Avengers. I forgot when it was specifically, but it was before Avengers. Yeah.
Right. Don't kill me, guys. Again, we don't prepare a lot of show notes. We're fans talking.
We like to talk, yeah.
But right, all that to say that there was standalone movies that led to this massive conglomerate that made everybody go, we've never seen anything like this on screen ever. And boy, did Joss Whedon knock it out of the park, man. Yeah. And so that was what they called the MCU's Phase 1. Then Phase 2 came. Currently, we're on Phase 3, ending, I think, in Phase 3. And Phase 4 is going to kick off after the first Infinity War. I think
Spider-Man.
I think is going to kick it off.
It's Black Panther.
No.
The phase after that is going to be Spider-Man, but the next,
really?
after the Avengers. Wait, what am I saying? No. You're right. It is Spider-Man. Yeah. Sorry, you're right. It is Spider-Man.
Because Black Panther's coming out next.
Yeah, sorry.
Next year.
I'm thinking Infinity War's coming out in November, and that's Justice League. That's why. That's why. Yeah.
Don't kill us, guys. We're just fans here. We're just chit-chatting.
Cool.
I could see the fans in the comic.
Exactly. That is not how it is.
Anyways, the point is that Marvel came through and created this awesome thing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And what they started was, basically, they really solidified what we now know to be the superhero genre. But what's really neat is that within this superhero genre, there are subgenres. And so Captain America, the first one, was a war movie. You have an action adventure, I think, in Iron Man, and then go on. You have Spider-Man.
Iron Man was more like the techie movie, and then you had the espionage movie with like Winter Soldier. You know what I mean? Like
the heist movie with Ant-Man.
With Ant-Man,
the teen coming of age comedy with the new Spider-Man, and the new Spider-Man that we now have is part of the MCU. So to answer your question, why are there so many Spider-Mans? Well, the other Spider-Mans were part of the Sony universe, and after Spider-Man 3 with that terrible rendition of the Goblin and Venom, that franchise went down. And so they tried to reboot it. And
the first one, I actually liked the first Amazing Spider-Man.
I actually like both of them. I'm not going to lie. I didn't have an issue with them because I really just enjoyed that we had Spider-Man.
The second one I wasn't digging, but the first one
But a lot of people weren't. And so that franchise went down again. But what's also interesting to note, why is now Spider-Man with these Marvel characters that are under the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain America, Black Widow, Vision, Black Panther. Why is he with all them? Well, because Sony had a big scandal. They had an email leak, and Sony Pictures was going under. The movie portion of Sony, not the overall company, but the movie portion was going down. And enter Marvel like a boss, like a superhero. So here, we'll help you guys.
Let's help each other. Let's help each other. Yeah.
We want to bring this guy back into the fold and do him properly.
Yeah.
And so, of course, they want to see each other do well. Sony's like, okay, they'd be stupid not to want to see Sony do well, because if Sony does well, they do well. It's a thing. Like, if it's just dumb to assume that the one studio wants to destroy another studio.
the way, and especially the way the deal was presented to Sony, like Marvel pretty much said, like, yo, let us do what we do creatively. Let us handle the creative part of this character. We're gonna make the movie.
You guys get all the box office revenue, I believe.
I think they got like the toy, something like that. I'm not sure 100%, but they made it was a sweet deal for Sony. Right. Like, it was a sweet deal.
And
dude.
so this is why you see so many Spider-Man movies. Now again, Fox has X-Men, and under X-Men you have so many different categories. You have Logan, aka Wolverine. You've got Deadpool, who's doing phenomenal at Fox. So while I would like some of these characters to come all back into the fold and see them all in this Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's good that Sony has the rights to Spider-Man still, kind of. It's good that Fox still has X-Men and Fantastic Four, although Fantastic Four may it's a rumor that's not confirmed, but a lot of people would like to see that go back to
Yeah, a
Marvel.
lot of people. Yeah.
And myself included. But it's good that there's this competition that is created because ultimately, if one does bad, they look better and they want to look good.
Exactly.
Right? So
Yeah.
this is a money making business. At the end of the day, these studios want to make money. So if superheroes are a thing, kind of like how zombies were a thing for a while, and you had The Walking Dead, World War Z, and then all these renditions.
All these,
like,
even TV show taking off.
If
Yeah.
it's a thing, they're gonna capitalize on it. So of course we're seeing so many, but to say that there's superhero fatigue, I would say, kind of like what you said, it's not something we should worry about.
Not
because
really,
each
yeah.
movie has its. While it stands alone on its own, it's still part of the Marvel universe as a whole, the MCU that is.
And not only that, but you're gonna get a different experience with every character you
Yeah.
go watch. You know what I mean? I know if I'm gonna go see an Iron Man movie, I know that Tony's gonna be quippy like he is.
Right.
He's gonna make me laugh. He's gonna have some cool tech stuff. It's gonna be wild. I know if I go see Captain America, he's gonna be super righteous. He's gonna be a fighter, like some super cool fight scenes.
Yes,
like you know what I
he has
mean?
conviction, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, you might not want to watch all of them. Now, because they're part of a Marvel Cinematic Universe, are you going to miss anything? Well, you're not going to miss anything about Iron Man in the Winter Soldier per se, while you may get like a little drop here or a hint here, and that's for people like us who soak up every Easter egg.
Yeah.
You're not going to miss anything. You might miss something when they all come together again, but overall, you're not really going to miss much.
And that's why I think, they shouldn't really stress about fatigue because, like I said, if you don't follow all the movies, you're not like Marvel does a good job of kind of making a movie its own
It's
without
isolated,
exactly. It's part of this whole thing, but as a movie itself, it's good. You know what I mean? And on top of that, like you said, they throw little things in there for the people that did watch those movies to be like, oh my God, that's from this. You know what I mean?
Oh my God,
exactly. Oh my God.
The paper said shield.
Exactly.
And that acronym spells shield.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like,
so it's like they kind of know how to please both sides. You know what I mean? And that's why I think it's really nothing you got to stress.
Right. So ultimately, I think the question is superhero movie fatigue. Is it a thing? Sure, it's a thing. If you're tired of them, then ultimately you don't have to watch them anymore. Right? Like it's not really for you. But for the average person who's worried or who might think, am I ever gonna get tired of this? I don't think it's something you have to worry about because each movie has its own story, as you said, and it's always going to be a part of something bigger. And Marvel has a general direction that they're taking every phase. And the cool thing about it is, as we were talking about, is superheroes, even the comics, they're constantly getting rebooted.
Yeah.
The comics are constantly being retconned or started over, or a new storyline is started. I mean, these things have been going on for decades. So to say that they can't do that with the movies it's silly.
It's silly.
You
It's
could
the best way to put it.
that. So ultimately, do they have anything to worry about? I don't think so. I mean,
no, not really, because aside from everything we spoke about, something that people also got to keep in mind is that there's so many storylines in comic books that inspiration for days. Yeah. On top of the fact that there's so many different types of characters, like we just got Peter Parker, we haven't even gotten into Miles Morales yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or like even like on the DC side of things, like if they give us a Green Lantern movie about Hal Jordan, yeah, I'm excited for it. If they do like a trilogy and then reboot it and then do Guy Gardner, oh my God, totally different experience. Totally different characters. You know what I mean? So just because you have different people that take the mantle, because you're going in getting something different every time, at least with Marvel you are, you know what I mean? I really don't think it's something you got to stress about.
Right. And now, again, there's going to be fatigue with anything. And ultimately, if this genre isn't for you, it's not for you. That's fair. But for those of you that do like it, I think it's fair to say, keep them coming.
Keep them coming.
Because
we will eat it up, bro.
I'm always going to follow
yeah.
the new storyline. I'm going to follow the Easter eggs. I want to know where they're going. I want to know where they're taking it. And I'm also learning things through the movies about certain comic book lines that I've never even learned before. I knew of Captain Marvel, but I didn't know much about her. And so yesterday I was at Barnes & Noble. I picked up one of the comic books and I started reading it. And within the second page, the top frame, I fell in love with her entire character. This galactic police comes up to her and they're like, hey, so they say something and she's like, these are not the droids you're looking for. And they look at her, they're like, what? And she was like, it was worth it. Whap! And I was like, what? If this is any indication of what Brie Larson is going to bring to the character, bring it on. Because the cool thing about Marvel is they're also introducing non-household names. I knew nothing of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Dude, I read comics regularly, and I didn't know about Guardians of the Galaxy. I had no idea.
I knew very little about him, but they brought him in, and they made us fall in love with that character in a whole new way. I'm finally glad they're bringing Black Panther.
Of course,
that was one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time. And they're finally making a movie about him. Dope. And so they're introducing us to characters that we've never known about, but then also in a really cool way, their storylines and the things they go through are so timely. And in one episode that we're going to be discussing on another episode, which is representation and why that matters, like Black Panther and the all-black cast and all of and everybody representing this culture, it's so timely.
Yeah,
and what I love about Kevin Feige, he was like, this character was created at a time where this was controversial, and Marvel didn't hold back, so neither are we.
That's good, yeah.
And that's so cool because these things, they matter, and it goes back to what we talked about last time. Do movies matter to our society? Are they necessary?
Absolutely, yeah.
What I like about Marvel is that they're not just trying, while they're trying to appease comic book fans and while they're also just giving you superhero stuff, they're also trying to tell you something bigger, like, The Winter Soldier. I love how this enamored individual who loved this country so much started to fall away from that because he saw the ills, and that says so much about where we're at. It
says so much about like how just because a bunch of people are saying something, it might not be the right way to go.
And that theme is in everything. The theme of redemption with Iron Man and how he was such a maverick and now he wants to be held accountable in Civil War. And like Marvel is doing a good job, and so that's why we're focused on this episode, because there's so much going on. Whereas DC, they're getting there, and hopefully they get there because we'd like to see what kind of stories they tell us.
I'm telling you, man, if they get there, they will take off. They will take off.
They do, but I think for the average viewer and for those watching, you have nothing to worry about because each movie, I think, if you're looking for a good story, you're gonna get something. There's meat there, and if you don't care about Marvel or DC or superheroes, there's still something there for the average viewer, for the average fan. And again, hey, if you don't like them.
Don't watch them.
That's okay. But like I said, for us, I eat that stuff up. And there's so much more than just bang, bang, punch, pow, we won kind of thing. And I like that. Even, superheroes being held accountable for all the damage they do. Like, we've never explored that topic before.
At all.
And how that would affect a regular civilian like you and I. So I think there's so much about these movies and how these movies allow, or this medium of movies allows life to be reflected through this medium of art. And so, again, there could be comic book movie fatigue, but I would say don't let it. If you want to know more about it, look up why there are so many. And the more you dig deep, the more you'll realize, man, okay, I see now why there's so many. And you might not care, you might, but ultimately, comic book movie superhero fatigue. Oh, that's such a tongue twister. But is it real? Yes. But do you have anything to worry about?
Absolutely not.
I don't think so.
Absolutely not.
What do you guys think? Are you guys tired of them? Do you guys want them to keep coming? Write in the comments. Let us know what you think. What did we miss? Because we're not able to cover everything. What did we miss as far as comic book movie goes? And what did we leave out that you guys think might be important? Love the conversations in the comments.
Yes,
how you
thank
guys
you.
Interact.
Yes, please. Yes, that is awesome. Keep that coming, dude.
We're gonna
keep
respond
that coming.
to everything.
Yes,
we've gotten a couple emails, and we're gonna sort through them and see which one would be best to push forward as far as the question section
Definitely.
goes. But again, if you have any emails that you want to send us with any questions or any topics, right here,
there.
Scenic Views Movie News at gmail.com. We'll love to answer them. Always like. Always share, but most importantly, subscribe. Share with your friends and family. The page is growing. We're almost at 100 viewers.
Yeah, thank you for everybody who checked out the Thor reaction. Thank you. Over 5K. Over 5K. That's awesome, man. Hell
that's insane. We didn't expect that. God, we love so much that you guys are involved, that you guys are in the comment section, telling us things that we forgot, things that we don't know about. Like, this is so cool. We love that this Scenic Views community is building. Continue to partake in the conversation because really we can't do this without you guys. So
we thrive off that.
We do. We love the support and everything. So, I mean, honestly, we can go on and on, but
till then.
Till next time.